Hello again, Emile. We are just done with the API panel, and we are still very, very excited to have you here. And can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Emile Vauge, and I'm a French developer from Lyon, and I created Traffic a few years ago, which is a reverse proxy written in Go, and I founded Containers to continue to write traffic. So Containers is a French startup.
Well, that's pretty sick. What was the trigger? What problem were you trying to solve when you first started to work on the project?
So a few years ago, I needed to build an infrastructure to deploy thousands of microservices, and I also needed to manage ingress network traffic on this infrastructure. And I did a dynamic reverse proxy, which doesn't really exist at that time. So it was the first trigger that made me dream of a new kind of reverse proxy that leads to traffic later.
And why did you choose to make it an open source project rather than basically an entrepreneurship project?
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, I'm a developer guy, and I'm just in love with the open source uh, uh, way of saying things. Being open, being having a community to develop a project, being transparent. So this was the first value I wanted to add to this project, and also being open source is a great way of developing a quick product and with an open view from the community. So there were two reasons to being open source.
And when you actually did have a community, how was it to manage the project when it had a lot of contributors?
So this is a tough question because quickly, if you have an open source project that is getting famous, you will have to deal with many contributors, and you will get many issues every day. You will get many messages on your Slack channel. You will get many emails, many tweets. So you will get a lot of information from everywhere. And the first thing you have to do is that you need to automate everything because your team is so small compared to the amount of information you are getting. So we started to build a tool chain to automate everything. When you have a new issue, there are bots that are sorting this issue. When you have a new pull request, there are bots that are checking everything in the pull request. There are bots that are merging automatically pull requests. So yeah, we just automatize everything to deal with the amount of contributors.
Well, that sounds like a pretty huge challenge. And how was it to build a company based on an open source project actually?
This is another big challenge, especially in France, because um, uh, investors are mostly not used to invest in open source in France. Most investors in open source come from the San Francisco. So, but things are changing, and now you can convince investors to invest in open source today in France. This was the first challenge to create a company behind an open source project, and then and you obviously have to deal with how to monetize your open source project, and this is another kind of challenge that will come later. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you on that. And what are your plans for the future? after all of that?
So yeah, we now we have investors in the company. We are almost 10. We are 10 people in the company right now. Almost only developers, and we are going to expand in the US in the future, and we are also going to hire more developers and more ops in the future. So this is another challenge we are we are facing, is hiring the good people on this kind of tool, because this is really technical, a technical tool. So yeah, we if you are interested in building this kind of tool in infrastructure, in Go, and in a low-level language, yeah, we are looking for this kind of guy.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Emile. We are very, very, very glad to have you here, and we can enjoy the night. I mean, have some pizzas and beers, and
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.